Namaste. Namaste. Let us begin with a Shanti part prayer, which will introduce us to this Upanishad. Om Bhadram Karnebi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyema Achabhirya Jatraha Sthirairangai Tuštuvagum Sastanubihi Veshema Devahidam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedevaha Swasti nastarshyo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brahaspadir Dathadu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So the meaning is, may we come to hear only auspicious words. May we come to see only auspicious things. May we have strong bodies with firm limbs and live as long as God wants us to live. That's it. As long as God wants us to live. As long as we are useful to the world. But we must live a healthy life. That's a demand. And if we plant an intention, that becomes a reality we have seen. If we intend health, health will be there. If you wake up with a feeling, I have got a headache, you will definitely have a headache. So always positive thought. What you want, intend it. Then you will have it. So may healthy body, strong limbs, firm limbs, etc. So this is the meaning of that prayer. Peace, peace, peace. Let there be peace inside, outside, peace everywhere. Let everybody be peace. And some God's name is invoked, Indra, and Swastina Indro, Vruddhashravaha, Swastina Pusha, Pusha is the sun. Let the sun be nice to me, blessing. Blessing from the sun, blessings from Indra. Vayu, blessing from Vayu. Brahaspati, my gurus and parents. Let they all bless me. The blessing. So we begin with that beautiful mantra. This Upanishad called PRASNA Upanishad. PRASNA means question. This Upanishad which asks questions. And we have many questions. And this Upanishad belongs to the Atharvana Veda. Atharvana Veda. And this Upanishad is a conversation between a rishi called Pippalada. Pippalada. Pippalada means one who lives on fruits. Nothing else. Maybe a vegan, just fruits. Pippala Matti di Pippalada. So, and then this Pippalada engages in a conversation with 6 scholars of those days. 6 scholars. They are scholars in Vedas. So he says, these people, Brahmaparaha, Brahmanishtaha and all that, they are great scholars. And they are successful people. They leave everything. Their success behind, their wealth behind, and go to the Himalayas to meet this rishi who owns nothing. Look at the irony of that. The conversation between people who are successful, who owns everything, who has got name and fame, they leave everything, come to this rishi who owns nothing. When you own nothing, you gain clarity. So it's a conversation between these two, a Pippalada, one Rishi, and then other 6 scholars. I don't want to enumerate all their names. I can do that. Sugesha, Satyagama, Gargya, Ashulayana, Bhargava, Kabadhi. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can buy the book and do all this. I am going to give you a key to the Upanishads. So you can unlock it and take the nuggets and employ it in your life. That's very important. It is not just an intellectual exercise. It is a life-transforming experience. Otherwise, this study doesn't make much sense. So these 6 rishis go to these 6 scholars go to the rishi, and they're about to ask a question because they have got a return ticket also. So they are in a hurry. So the rishi said, the Pippalada said, wait, you cannot ask questions like that. You have to stay here for 1 year. Eating the right kind of food, practicing yoga, pranayama, observing silence, organize your mind and body, and gain that clarity. Then you can formulate those questions. Even the art of formulating questions are very important. So Rishi says, stay with me for 1 year, observe me, observe nature, observe your own mind, calm your mind, then design your questions. So tapasa, brahmacharyena, shraddhaya, samvatsaram, samvatsyada, he says. Tapas, brahmacharya and shraddha. Then you can ask questions. So they stayed there for 1 year because free food and free accommodation, Rishi doesn't want anything. So after staying there for 1 year, then they formulated their questions. So there are 6 life-transforming questions. I will quickly go through those questions so you have an idea what are those questions. The first question is that, where do we come from? Our original home. Where do we all come from? So, kudaha ima prajaha prajayante. That's the first question. And I suggest that at least once in a year, 1 week, we should withdraw from this haribari and sit together individually, collectively, contemplatively, ask these 6 questions. This is very, very important. Because they are life-transforming questions. The first question is that, where do we come from? And the next question is that, what is the most important functionary in this embodied life, embodiment? Because we are living in this body. So what is the most important functionary in this, without which life is not possible? The second question. It's a very, very contemplative question. And third question is that, how do we become alive? Now we are able to breathe and interact and think, and how do we become alive? Third question. And the fourth question is that, when we go to deep sleep, who is awake in us? Somebody is awake when we are in deep sleep. Who is that? What is that in deep sleep? If nobody is awake, then you will not wake up from sleep. So who is awake when I am in deep sleep? And the fifth question is, what is the meaning of Om, Omkara? And those who do Omkara Upasana, what happens to them? Om is a very key word. in the Upanishadic world. Om. And final question is that, what are the important aspects of a healthy life? Where do I have to give attention to lead a healthy life? So these are the 6 questions. We have to ask at least once in a year. We have to sit together, reflect on this question. So the first question was, where do we come from? What is our root, source, real home? So generally our answer is we go to build our family tree, isn't it? My father, father's father, mother's mother, like that you go. It is not just a family tree, it's not a biological question. Biology, chemistry, physics, all are involved there. Cosmology, and finally, consciousness. So the answer of the Upanishad is, our source is pure consciousness. Everything comes from there. So the Rishi traces this, our history, the source. So he says, Prajapatihi, Prajakamaha, Prajapatihi. He introduces the word Prajapati. Prajapati means the Lord of the universe. So the Upanishad sometimes present the source in a personal terms. Prajapati, Ishvara, Brahma, and Bhagavan. Personal term, or God. Sometimes the Upanishad present the impersonal terms. Nirguna Brahma. Brahman has no face or hands or anything. Just pure existence. So the Upanishad use both these strategies. Either in personal terms, Bhagavan, Prajapati, Prajanam Padhi, Prajapati. It's only a word. You must have the idea. So Prajapati ji Prajakamaha. Prajakama, desirous of creation. Prajapati entertained a thought. Like the Big Bang. Instead of Big Bang, here he says a self-generated thought. Or a disturbance in consciousness. That's what happens. And from there, everything manifests. So Prajakamaha Prajapati. And what was the first manifestation? He says Rayim cha Pranam cha. These are all very technical words. Rayim cha Pranam cha. Rayi is the objective and the subjective. The subjective and the objective division happens first. It's a philosophical term. Subjective and the objective. Rayim cha Pranam cha. Prana is subjective and Rayi is objective. Shankara uses the word Annam and Atta. The eater and the eaten. The observer and the observed. The basic category is that. And quickly the Upanishad moves from there. From that basic category, the Upanishad comes to the sun, the moon, and the earth. In between, how much has happened? This we can identify. Consciousness also we can identify because we all are conscious people. Isn't it? We are conscious. That consciousness got different levels. We have discussed all that. And I may discuss later also. There is subjective consciousness, our body, mind, ego consciousness. And there is an observing consciousness, the Sakshi consciousness, contemplative consciousness. And there is a transcendental consciousness. So we operate on these 3 levels. As a subjective consciousness, we identify the body, mind, ego complex and live in a circle of fear. Most of us are living that circle of fear. Possessiveness, greed, anger, violence. That is what we are, our lifestyle now. And when we become contemplative, then we operate in a wider circle of love, sharing, inclusion. That's another circle. Our consciousness expands. Then the transcendental consciousness. All these are referred to by the experience of I. When I say I can refer to the body, mind, ego complex. I can refer to the Sachi consciousness. I can refer to transcendental consciousness. In a transcendental consciousness, in that level, I am blissful all the time. Blissful, playful, creative. So there are 3 levels we can move. And so therefore, for the Upanishads Rishi, consciousness is not a thing out there. It's very deeply and intrinsically related to your I experience. Please understand that. Please understand that. So the Upanishad comes from the consciousness, Prajapati, a disturbance in or desire in consciousness to express, and then the Rayi and Prana, subject and object division. And from there quickly moves into our understand language which we understand. The moon, the earth, and the sun. The earth goes around the sun, isn't it? Take 365 days. And the moon goes around the earth 30 days. Maybe 28, 30 days. As a result of this movement, everything is constantly moving. There is Samvatsara. Samvatsara means the year. The concept of the year comes. Y-E-A-R. Because the earth takes 1 year to go around the sun. And the earth is, very, very strategically situated near the sun. Not too close, not too far. If it goes too close, dangerous. Too far, again problem. Similarly, the moon goes around the earth, creating the time of month, 30 days. And the earth goes around its axis, creating the experience of day and night. Isn't it? And even as the earth goes around the sun 1 year, then 1 year is divided into the Uttarayana and Dakshinayana, northern and southern solstice. And the month is divided into Shukla Vatsha and Krishna Vatsha, the bright fortnight and the dark fortnight. All this we have to understand. All this we have to, because we are situated in this context. Life appears in this context. So the year and Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, equinoxes. Uttarayana is from December 21st to June 21st. Dakshinayana is June 21st to December 21st. Equinoxes are March 21st and September 21st, isn't it? You can refer all this. I don't want to go into all these details. The Rishi says, as a result of all these interactions and movements of the earth and the sun and the moon, and then the experience of time and Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, dark fortnight, bright fortnight, equinoxes, seasons come. And as a result of that, the biosphere arises. The biosphere, that little womb on the planet. Maybe 7 kilometers above, 7 kilometers below that, that's the biosphere, which supports life where we are living. And I think this is the only area where life exists, because we have not discovered life anywhere else. The Rishi said the biosphere arises. In this biosphere, then appears water and plants, food, sperm, egg, and then here you are. What a big journey, isn't it? What a big journey. From the Prajapati to Praja. Prajapati to Praja. From the cosmic to the atomic. From Shiva, the Vibhu, to Anu. From Paramatma to Jivatma. Look at your roots. Spend some time to look into this. Then you discover your roots. So, this is the first question. What is our roots? And this reflection is called Prajapati Vrida in the Upanishad. And when you reflect like this, then there is no sorrow, there is no suffering. You can draw from this depth of your being. Otherwise, you will sit like a question mark. So this gives you the energy, the depth, the character. This is called Prajapati Vrida. This reflection, going back all the way to consciousness. As a result of this Prajapati Vrida, the Upanishad guarantees you'll have a healthy family, he says. Healthy children, healthy spouse, healthy family. That is the promise of the Upanishad. That is the benefit of this reflection. A healthy family. It's called Prajapati Vrudam. This kind of a reflection. You have to sit and do that. And you will have 2 children, he says. Not more than that. Midhunam utpadayate. 2 children and a healthy family and a healthy spousal relationship by this. Because our world is very wide now. Small things don't bother you. Otherwise, small things. Oh, she did not make coffee for me. Or he did not appreciate the coffee I made. Isn't it? All the time, something to quarrel, something to fight. Yet when you have the wider vision of life, nothing bothers. You will be able to take the little pinpricks of life in your stride and move on. And you also will be able to draw your energy. Because energy gets depleted most of the time. So we need some source from where to invoke our energy, to renew ourselves. So this reflection, where do I come from? Not just your family tree, but you have to go beyond the biology, beyond the chemistry, beyond the physics, and to all the way to consciousness. First question. And the second question is, so the second question is asked by, Katyeva devaha prajam vidharede. In this embodiment in our life, now I am this embodied being. I understood my roots. Now I am this embodied being. In this embodiment, who is the most important functionary? Which sustains this? Because we have eyes, ears, nose, skin. Isn't it? This panchendriyas, panchakarmendriyas, hand, legs, speech, etc. And we have the prana, we are breathing. So there is organs of action, motor organs of perception, the mind, the prana. Who is the most important functionary here? That is the question. So they say they explain it by a story. The eye says, I am more important because without me you cannot see anything. The ear says, no, I am more important because without me you cannot hear anything. The speech says, I am more important. If I don't speak, you have no identity. The leg says, I am more important. If I am not there, you cannot go anywhere. You are a vegetable. The hand says, I am more important because if I don't grasp, then you have nothing. You are dispossessed. Isn't it? So every organ starts saying, I am more important. I am more important. Mind also says, I am more important. If I don't function, you are an idiot, isn't it? You don't think, you don't do. The prana, the breath. Prana is sitting quietly. Like when children fight, husband fight, father says, I am more important, children says, I am more important, wife is sitting quiet there. She knows if she doesn't cook, nobody is important, isn't it? So prana is sitting quiet. And the prana said, why don't you consider me also? I am also part of this. So these sense organs of action, mind, intellect, they all ignored the prana. Because wife's job is, there is no thankless job. They don't get anything. They don't get even an appreciation. So when prana was ignored like that, prana said, I am leaving. Your breath said, I am leaving. And the breath was about to leave. She didn't leave. Like a mother, I am leaving, but she never leaves. Because she knows without her nothing will function in the family. Prana was about to leave. When prana was about to leave, the eyes closed automatically. You couldn't hear anything. The hand cannot move. Legs cannot move. Mind cannot function. He started gasping for breath. Prana said, I have no intention of leaving you. I just want to teach you a lesson. Without me, none of you can function. Eyes cannot see, ear cannot hear, hands cannot, nothing can function. So who is most important in this embodiment? Prana is most important. Without prana, nothing can function. Of course, there is other aspects also. There are organs of action, organs of perception, Panchabhutas, all are there. Panchabhutas also is necessary. Fire, air, etc. is necessary. But what is more important is prana. So therefore, watch your prana, worship your prana, do pranayama every day, which is very, very important. So advice is, do pranayama. Because prana is the most important functionary in this embodiment. Therefore, all the sense organs of action, mind, intellect, and pray to prana, please protect us, please stay with us, please nourish us, please nurture us. We offer all our prayers to you. So second question is highlighting the importance of prana. Pranayama, various type of pranayama. So instead of, you can every day spend some time watching your breath, deepening your breath. The Upanishad also gives an example, like a honeycomb. The honeycomb, the mother bee is most important, isn't it? When the mother bee is there, all the bees are working for the mother bee. When the mother bee moves, all the bees also move along with that. So prana is compared to the honey bee, the mother bee, Madhukara Rajanam, by the Upanishad. So importance of prana is said, and the practical advice is, watch your prana every day and breathe deeply, consciously. That will enervate you, energize you. You can come out of your depression, mood changes, and low energy. Pranayama will help you. So food is important, of course. Water is important because they say without food you can live for 200 days. 200 days. Some of the Jain monks live for 200 days. Because the body has a store of 400,000 calories in the body. So you need only 200 calories just to survive. You can live without food for 200 days. You can live without water for 7 days. But you cannot live without breath, even for 3 minutes. So breath is the most important thing. So pranayama is very, very important. Now the third question is that, how does the prana enter into the system? So that you are alive. This is a very little mystic question. How does the prana enter into the kutaha esha prana jayate, enter into the system? Because we have seen without the prana, sense organs cannot function, mind cannot function, body cannot function, brain cannot function. And this infrastructure which become alive because of the prana, how does the prana enter into the infrastructure? Very mystic question. And the answer is, so how does the prana enter into the body? Where does the prana come from? Kutaha esha pranaha jayade. From where the prana is born, how does it enter into the system? And having entered into the system, how the prana function? How does the prana function? And then, finally, when the prana leave you, when does it leave? The question about death also. Prana comes, you are alive. Prana leaves, you are dead. He breathed his last, isn't it? She breathed her last. Thereafter, take her to the burial ground. I don't want to see her. Earlier, without her, I couldn't live. Now she breathed her last. I don't want to see. Or I don't want to see. How does the prana function? And how does it live? And how does the prana support the whole function of the body? These are the questions. So he said, prana is intentional consciousness. When consciousness gains an intention and direction, it becomes an energy and prana. And the word used is Atmanaha Jayade. The consciousness, there are connection with consciousness. It becomes intentional. It gains a direction. Intentional consciousness. And then, it also is said this prana is a chaya, is a reflection of that consciousness. Two ideas are given. It is intentional consciousness, it is a reflection of consciousness. Two ideas are given by the Upanishad. And then, manokrudena, it uses the mind to enter into the body. Manokrudena. So three ideas are given. It is intentional consciousness, it is a reflection of consciousness, self-reflection of consciousness, and it uses the mind as a medium to enter into the system. And earlier in the Upanishads we have seen there is a nadi that goes from fontanelle to all the way to the heart. So the prana enters into that nadi all the way and comes to the heart, he says. That's called Atma Nadi. These are all mystic things. You have to imagine it. You need a lot of imagination for this. So whenever you are in a law, you sit and feel that prana is entering into you. Fresh prana is coming to you. Then you feel energized again. So prana enters into the fontanelle, Brahmarantra, and all the way through the nadi to the heart. And then, when it's come to the heart, there are 72 million nadis in the body. The prana flows through all these nadis. That's why even if you put a pin anywhere on the body, you feel the pain, isn't it? Because there is a prana there. In that Chinese, that needle treatment, this theory is used there. Acupuncture, acupressure. That there is prana all over the body. So when you are sick or depressed or agitated, prana is blocked. So put a needle there, press there, or take a pranayama. So prana spreads all over the body. And so there are 5 functions of the prana. Prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana, etc. So the mukhya prana, the main prana is chakshusrotre, it's functioning in the eyes and ears. So those who suffer from eyesight problem or hearing problem, pranayama will help them. Pranayama is cure for everything. Even serious diseases can be cured by prana, according to this idea. So the one part of the prana remains on the chakshusrotra and makes it function. Other in the heart and makes the heart and the lungs function. And the third is in the udare, samana, digestion and all that. And fourth in all the nadis, dhyana, all the nadis. So you get energy, all the cells gets energy. And the fifth is apana. Apana means excretion, payu, upasthaya. That is how the prana, having entered into the body, makes the body mind function, he says. And all this functioning is supported by some devas called Aditya. Aditya helps the seeing and hearing, etc. Aditya means the sun. The sun is very important in seeing, isn't it? There is no sun, you cannot see. So sun is the devata, I is the indriya, prana is the energy. So there is a connection. See how the Upanishad is tying up everything. So when you are seeing something, you are taking the blessing of the sun, the prana, and the indriya, the eyes. Similarly, heart and lungs, hrudi, when they function, you are taking the help of agony, fire. It is necessary, isn't it? There is no warmth, your heart and lungs cannot function. Similarly, udare, the digestion function, is supported by the antariksha. Antariksha means the entire environment helps you in digestion, antariksha. And vyana, the prana which goes all around, is supported by vayu. And apana, payu, is supported by gravity. Because excretion, gravity is necessary, isn't it? Otherwise, it will all float like in the moon. If you excrete, then it will float all over. So all these 5 elements, prana, sense organs, they function in unison. Then alone, living is possible. What a holistic approach. What a holistic approach. You have to thank all these fire, sun, air, earth, gravity, all these in unison, at tandem, like an orchestra. The whole thing is functioning like an orchestra. That is how the prana, dividing itself, functions. Now the question is that, marana kale, when you die, what happens? The udana vayu pulls all these vayus. The udana vayu pulls all these vayus, and then tejasa yuktaha, the udana vayu, goes through the fontanel. And the cadominists we have seen, it can go through a fontanel or mouth or anus and all that, depending upon what a disciplined life you led. So the udana vayu pulls the mind and the faculties, everything, pulls the mind and goes to in search of another body, another embodiment. We all die, don't we? We all die. So I have to give you an explanation for this. The Upanishad has to give you an explanation. What happens when we die? Something remains. Death is not the end. Death may be a semicolon, but not the end. The river of life continues. You may not have the memory of that, but the river of life continues. So marana kale pranaha tejasa yuktaha sa atmana yatha sankalpidam logam nayati. Depending upon the kind of work you are doing and the thoughts you are entertained, the quality of the thoughts, depending on that, the udana vayu takes you out and then go to other lokas. And some of us have to think about, because we are on the verge of leaving this body, some of us after 70, 75. We have to think about this. Death is not a calamity. Death is an opportunity. So this idea will help you when you die. when the prana is leaving you, you are ready for it. You don't blame. Why should I die? Why it happens? No, I am ready. I am ready. I had my innings. I am ready. I am ready to follow my Udana Vayu. The Vayu came to me. Now the Vayu is leaving me. So that's the idea. So this is called anayasa maranam. So that death becomes very easy for you. Otherwise, it's like a truck, drawing a carry. Death becomes very difficult for us. Here death becomes anayasam, easy, simple. I am ready. Anayasa maranam. And upashanta tejaha. And your understanding of death is the fires have all become quiet. The fuel is burned out. When the fuel is burned out, what happened to the fire? Fire become invisible. It is there. Put more fuel, it will again come out. So our idea is a metaphor for death. Upashanta tejaha. The fuel have been burned up, and now the fire has become invisible, and I am ready for that. It doesn't affect me. I can joyously walk into the unknown. I know I have done enough work so that my future is safe. So this promises you anayasam maranam, he says. That's the third question. Now the fourth question is that, I hope you follow all this, because we have to have some time to reflect on this. We must prepare for the final exit. Don't kid yourself. We have to prepare. We all have to. And if you happily do it, fine. If you don't happily do it, you will be dragged by Yama out of this. It's better be ready for that. Keep one bag ready so that Yama can jump onto the back of the buffalo, and then you can ride with the Yama, tell stories with the Yama. Yama will tell you stories. Where are you taking you? And all these are possible. Otherwise, Yama will tie you by the tail of the buffalo and you will be dragged all along. The maturity of a civilization is determined by our readiness to embrace death. That shows you are a mature person. Otherwise, you are an immature child. You may try to extend your life a little more, 200 years, 300 years. Maybe you may download all your information in a chip and all that. But one day, you have to die, he says. One day we have to. So let us be ready for that. And when you die, that's not the end. It is only a fresh beginning. You may not have the memory, it doesn't matter. A lot of things you don't remember. Sometimes you identify your existence with the memory. You don't have to remember all that. There is an identity free from your memory. Okay, so what is the fourth question? The fourth question is that, so anayasa maranam, this understanding will help you for embracing death happily. When you embrace death happily, maybe you can live a little more healthily. You can live a little more healthily. Because Yama knows he is ready. So he may not come and bother you. So you may live a little more healthily. So fourth question is that, edusmin purushe kani swabandhi. When you go to deep sleep. So apart from death, another traumatic experience is sleep. In sleep, what happens? That's your experience, daily experience, isn't it? Some people don't want to go to sleep. Some people don't get sleep. Even if they try. Isn't it? Insomnia, hypersomnia. Some people want to sleep all the time. So what happens? Because it's an unknown territory. So when you sleep, who all are sleeping? Of course, your sense organs are sleeping, they don't function. Your organs of action is not functioning. Your mind is not functioning. But somebody is alive. Somebody is awake. Who is that guy? Then you go to deep sleep. In deep sleep, you cannot see anything, touch anything, smell anything, taste anything. You cannot grab anything. You cannot throw anything. You cannot walk. You cannot sit. Nothing is there. No thoughts, no feelings, no anger, no jealousy. The who is functioning? The prana-agnayaha. Prana is functioning there. Your metabolism is going on. Blood circulation, digestion, unconscious processes. So much is happening. But all under the radar, below the conscious level. Meditate on that. This is a very important meditation. It's a very important meditation. What happens to me when I am in deep sleep? Prana-agnayaha, agnayaha jagrati. The prana is alive. Unconsciously, things are happening. And all the other function, manasi egi bhavati, it all resolve into the mind these days. Mind is sleeping. It all resolves into the mind. But the prana-agnayaha. Then, when from deep sleep, dreams. Who is dreaming? Isn't it? These are your three life experiences. Deep sleep, dream, and the waking. So who is dreaming in the deep sleep? Manaha mahimanam anubhavati. The mind using memories is creating a world for itself, which it cannot experience in the outer world. In the waking state, most of your desires are not fulfilled. Isn't it? You want to be the richest man in the world, you want to marry several people, and you want to travel all over the world, you want to become the CEO of your company, and all those, you want to be the most beautiful, handsome person in the world, all those things are there. Waking world, it's not possible. So when can you fulfill all this? Go to sleep. And whatever you have seen, touched and seen and heard and read, or from all this you can gather data and spin a new world. Therefore, REM, dreamful sleep is very important. If you cannot dream, you can go crazy. Only an enlightened person may not have much dream. Some of the dreams are important so that you fulfill some of your wishes. Letting the steam, off, so that you are relaxed. So who is active when you are dreaming? Mind is active. Without contacting the world outside. Mind is reveling in its own world, creating its own world. Whereas in the waking world, your mind has to compromise with the world outside. It has to see the world outside. But in dream world, mind is utterly free. Its freedom is constrained only by its memories. And so dreaming is very important. Whether you are dreaming in sleep or waking world also, you can dream. So manaha mahimanam anubhavati. And then kasyeda sukham bhavati. In sleep, you are very happy. Dream, you may not be happy all the time. Sometimes you can have nightmare dreams also. You can come out with a, sweat. So nightmare dream, you break sweat, you feel very scared. There are good dreams also. So in deep sleep, you are very happy. Isn't it? What is the source of this happiness? The Rishi asks. Because you are not eating ice cream, you are not watching a movie, you are not embracing anybody, you are not having anything, but still you are very happy. What is the source of this happiness? Have you asked this question? Atma sukham anubhavati. That is where you experience your natural happiness. without possessing or owning anything or interacting with anything. In deep sleep, you experience your natural happiness. The rest are all artificial happiness. So this gives an insight to you that since in deep sleep I am very happy, I don't need anything to be happy. Happiness is my nature. No Vishaya Sukham, but Atma Sukham. Is it not? Do you require more logic for that? Is it not convincing? So I am not happy because my children are not listening to me, my employees are not working. All those, you put your happiness on the other. You blame the other for your unhappiness. The Upanishads say this is useless, meaningless. You be happy by yourself. It's your nature. You don't have to be unhappy at all. So discover that Atma Sukham, not Vishaya Sukham. And that Atma Sukham cannot be denied to you. Whether you are old or sick or rich or poor or literate or illiterate, whatever, this Atma Sukham cannot be taken away from you. Just as heat cannot be taken away from fire. Atma Sukham. This is one of the greatest discovery of the Upanishads. The real happiness is not outside. I again and again say it, isn't it? Be happy, don't seek happiness. Share your happiness. Don't expect happiness from outside. It's your nature. And when you discover that, your whole life changes. Totally different. You don't blame anybody, you don't accuse anybody. You share your joy. The more you share, the more you have it. Because it is an inexhaustible resource. The more you are happy, the more you have it. It is not an exhaustible resource. Therefore, that sleep experience gives us an idea what is the source of happiness. So, Kasmin Sarve Sambradishtira, where all these are abiding, situated, is a very interesting thing. The Upanishad says, Esha Drishta Sprishta Sloda Manda Rasayada Manda Bodha Karta Vijnanatma Purusha Pare Akshare Atmani Apsambradishte. The seer, thinker, feeler, toucher, walker, all this finally is established, situated in that supreme consciousness. Supreme consciousness. So what is the source of happiness? We have seen that. What is the example for that? In deep sleep. You all are happy. Therefore, don't seek it outside. Contemplate and invoke it from within yourself. The next question is that, give me an upasana for all this. Something to munch. Something to crunchy, munchy, give me something. So that all these ideas can be encapsulated in that. Om. Earlier it was said pranayama. Pranayama. Now he says, oh. It's a very beautiful word. Some oh. Om is made up of 3 syllables. A, U, and Ma. A is the word that you utter when you open your mouth. Ah. U, when you round your lips. U. Ma. Close your lips and then internally. So, A, U, Ma, followed by a silent, followed by a gap of silence. A, U, again, A, U, Ma. So, these are called matras. Matra means sound. A, U, Ma. And then followed by soundlessness, silence. This is called amatra, silence. So, your whole life can be reduced into these 3 sounds. Whole universe can be reduced. This is called Shabda Brahman. The whole universe can be reduced into these three sounds. So if you can chant this Om daily, you can step into the rhythm of the universe and transcend. Ah, O, Ma, Ah, O, Ma, like that. Om, 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 Ah, O, Ma, like that. So, the chanting Ah is equivalent to chanting the whole of Rig Veda, he says. You know, the Indian culture. You don't have to study the whole Rig Veda. What you have to do is only say Ah every day. Ah. And Ah plus U, Ah, U, it is equivalent to chanting the whole of Yajurveda. My God, I never knew this. And if you chant A, U, Ma, it is equivalent to chanting the whole Samaveda. And those who chant A every day, at the end of their life, this A will take you to Pitraloka and bring you back. It will help you live there for some time and bring you back to the human world. Those who do A and U together, it will take you to Pitraloka and keep you there for a long time. You know, some story for that, you are not worried about what happens to me after death. I am giving you something to munch. Otherwise, you don't know what is there. And I am sure you will not come back and challenge me later. As Swamiji, you misguided me, you said I'll go to Pitraloka. I went there and look, I am sure you will not come and question me. Neither I will be there, nor there will be any language. So these stories are very important. It gives us some background, something to munch on. When nobody is there for you. You know, you start speaking, you start stop thinking, stop speaking, stop eating. Isn't it? Then nobody is there for you. It is these things which you do, which will remain with you. Dying means what? First you stop eating, then you stop thinking, then you stop seeing anything, you are within yourself. Go back to your fetal state. Then who will be there? This Om will be there. This Om is your friend. That Om is your friend. Om is your guide. Om is your light. When these things happen. So, Omkaram, chant Om. Every day, do that. Now, if you do Om together, then you go to Satyaloka, higher world of light, he says. Brahmaloka, Satyaloka. And after chanting Om, if you focus on the silence between Om, then you don't go anywhere. Atraiva samavaliyande. You collapse into pure Brahman. No coming and going there. Your soul. Then in deep silence, you immerse, he says. So that's the duty of chanting Om. Instead of a chewing gum, do this Om every day. You know, chewing gum you put in your mouth and then take out your stress and spit it out. Instead of that, chant Om every day. Do pranayama. And the last question is that, do you know Shodashakala Purusha? Meaning Shodashakala means that healthy person who has got this 16 glories. 16 glories or 16 aspects you have to be very careful. Take care of the 16 aspects for health. What are the 16 aspects you have to take care of? Prana. First is prana. Very important. Then Shraddha, faith. You need that faith. What is the faith? I am immortal. I am healthy. I am happiness. Because this is called a priori faith. You have to begin from there. If you keep on arguing and then debating and, inquiring, you will reach nowhere. Let us begin from this way. Whatever you want to be, that you already are. That is a faith. If you want to be healthy, you are already. It is not the end, it is the beginning. Shraddha is very, very important for a healthy life. Shraddha means that faith, that I am that. Whatever I want to be, I already am. If you want to be a doctor, believe that you are a doctor. Then go to the medical college. Otherwise, you will come back, frustrated. We want to be a happy person, believe that you are happy already. Otherwise, you may go all over the world and come back as a miserable person. So, begin with that faith. That's very important. Then Panchabhuta, understand you are situated among these 5 elements. You must have some regard for that. What are the Panchabhutas? Fire, air, water, earth, and space, and all that. You are living in this ensemble of 5 elements. Then Indriyas, you have the sense organs. Take care of them. Organs of action, organs of sense organ, Indriyas. Mana, mind, of course. Give some attention to your mind. Annam, food, what you are eating is very important. Don't eat all kind of wrong things, junk food. No, I am young and, okay, you may be young now, but if you eat those kind of food, you will suffer later. Viryam means energy. That energy, you have to bring up that energy. Viryam. Tapa means live a disciplined life. Reduce your needs, which is very important. Don't live an indulgent life. Mantraha, chant mantras. Take up some mantra. Gayatri mantra or some mantra. Some positive thought. That's a mantra is a positive statement. Karma means right kind of activities. Engage in the right kind of activities. Ennobling work. Karma is very important. Don't sit and meditate all the time. 24-hour meditation. No, it's not healthy. You must be active, interacting with the world. Karma is very important. Some meaningful work. Loga means your environment. Ecosystem is very important. Culture, people which you interact. Ecosystem. And nama, your identity. What is your identity? Do you have any identity? Do you have any unique identity? Or as you run-of-the-mill person? What is your uniqueness? Your identity, which makes you an individual. Discover, think about that. Do you have something to contribute? My own. So when you give attention to all these 16 factors, then you become a healthy person. So friends, 6 questions, answers to those questions, and get hold of this book. I have just ran you through all this. 1 hour. Gave you the master key to a healthy, cheerful life. Next Upanishad is called the Mundaka Upanishad. Mundaka Upanishad. An Upanishad which you have to hear after shaving your head. Shaving the head. Mundaka. Because the hair is the problem. You waste a lot of time grooming and all that. Shaving your head. Unloading yourself. When you go to a temple, you remove the shoes and then go to the temple. Something like that. So Mundaka Upanishad, very beautiful Upanishad. We'll be seeing it next Saturday. The Mundaka Upanishads. The story of two birds living on the same tree. Let's see. Through the story, how do you understand the mystery of life? Thank you very much. Take care. See you next Saturday.